If I can sign in.
Is there any positive?
Hello everyone, my name is Oluwatosin. I have a lot of passions for data. If you say passion, I'm passionate. I had to join the May cohort on data engineering. The exciting part of it is that they have professional, if I say professional, they are professional facilitators. They will teach you in a way that you would understand, you would assimilate. Then in terms of SQL, Python, it is not anaconda snake. This is, Python programming language. Then the most interesting part of it is that they take us on mentorship sessions. They are very good. I can proudly say I am an asset to an organization, and my deepest gratitude is to Tenalytics. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Oluwatosin. I have a lot.
Hello there. My name is Charles Bura. I'm a participant in the Tenalytics program, in the data analytics program. The program is very intense, and yet you need to be available in all this. I'm building dashboards and getting recognized in the work that I do, thanks to Tenalytics for their dedicated tutors. Yeah, so I take the time off to encourage anyone who is willing and really looking forward to a program that will build you up and prepare you to join tech. And the Tenalytics program is a perfect fit for you, and so I encourage you to sign up. Thank you very much, and bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Gufan and I am a data analyst. Now, I heard about Tenalytics from a friend who was in the March cohort at the time, and she was studying to be a data scientist. I did struggle with choosing between data analyst, business analyst, and being a HR analyst, and all I did was I attended the Zoom meeting that was shared by Tenalytics, where they talked about what each role was about and what your career path would look like. And that helped me to decide to go for the data analyst course. Now, studying with Tenalytics has been amazing. We have done CV review sessions. They prepare you for interview sessions, and then the coursework is fully packed. The watch me do it videos are really resourceful. If I can do it, then you can do it too. Thank you. Bye. Hello everyone, my name is Gufan and I am a data analyst. Now, I heard about Tenalytics from a friend.
My name is Elizabeth and I'm here to share a little bit of my experience with Tenalytics. I joined Tenalytics March 2023 as a beginner who has no knowledge about tech whatsoever. I registered for the full stack data science program, and 6 months down the line, guys, I identify as a certified data scientist, all thanks to Tenalytics. This is for anyone who is thinking about transitioning into tech, who has no idea how to go about it. I want to tell you that Tenalytics is the right plug for you. Tenalytics have highly experienced tutors who are going to teach you hands-on experience using real-life projects on how to go about tech, who are going to help you to be skillful in any of the programs you choose to do. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm here.
Hello, my name is Olusola Oloide. I'm from the Make Cohorts Data Analytics at Tenalytics. And I must say, before I started, I had so many worries and fears, thinking I would not be able to grab or quickly understand the course as I was new to it. But thankfully, I had a tutor like Mohammed, and honestly, he made it really easy to understand. So I'd just say, watch your videos, rewatch them like Mohammed would always say, and do your assignments and make sure you reach out to him. He's a wonderful tutor. Like, I can't even thank him enough for how much he has taught me in these past few months. It's been wonderful, really wonderful. Hello, my name is Olusola Oloide. I'm from the Make Cohorts Data Analytics at Tenalytics. And I must say, before I started, I had so many worries and fears, thinking I would not.
Question is, over the last 3 years, we at Tenalytics have helped about 1,000 Africans and people of the Black community to get into tech. The question is, what has made us so successful? We have been able to master the art of bridging the gap between the classroom and getting a job, so that you hit the ground running from the very first day. And some of the strategies we have put in place to achieve this includes: number one, CV review sessions. Now, this is where you stand out from the competition with a tailored CV that highlights your skills and achievements. Number two, LinkedIn optimization that will help you optimize your profile, ensuring that it reflects your newly acquired skills and attracts the biggest and the best organizations. Number three is Upwork optimization, depending on your personal career goals. For those interested in freelancing or remote work opportunities, would guide you through the whole process of optimizing your Upwork profile. Number four is navigating the job market. Sessions would help you with insider knowledge and strategies to navigate the job market, from identifying the best job opportunities to crafting compelling cover letters. Number five, references and recommendation letters would support your transition journey by helping you build credibility and enhance your job application and reference with recommendation letters. Number six is interview preparation. Would conduct mock interview sessions to help provide valuable feedback and boost your confidence so that you can showcase your skill during the interview. Number seven is the weekly mentorship session. This is where you receive invaluable feedback and guidance and support every week. Our experienced mentors will provide personalized feedback, industry insights to help you navigate any challenges you might encounter at any point in time. So why haven't you signed up for any of our programs? Join us this month. Let's help you get into tech. Cheers, everybody. My name is Adaiza Suleiman, and I'm the founder of Tenalytics.
Hello everyone, good evening. All right, so if you're excited to be here, I want to see a cheers in the chat. All right, so you can just drop an emoji in the chat or just drop a hi in the chat. All right. Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm so excited to see everyone here tonight. So I'm sure we are ready to hear what we have for today and also see the case study that we are going to be solving today and understand exactly what this program is all about, right? So we want to know if you are joining us for the first time, if you are joining this program for the first time, just drop a 1 in the chat, all right? Drop a 1 in the chat and this will help us to know if you are joining us for the very first time. All right, so it seems like most of us have been here before. Okay, so before we get started, let's just give some of us a few more minutes to join in. And I would like to know our names and where we are joining from. So if you can do that, quickly do that in the chat and I'll introduce our speaker for today. Okay, so let's get to know ourselves, where we are joining from. All right, we have Adeza from Canada. All right. Okay. We have Aimoa from Netherlands. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so without wasting too much of our time, I'll be introducing our guest speaker for tonight, which is Adeza Sulaiman, the founder of Tenalytics. He's going to be taking us through an exciting case study and showing us how to use Excel to transform data into meaningful insights. All right. So Adeza Sulaiman, please, the floor is yours. Go and introduce yourself.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mary. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from. So today we're going to dive into the world of HR analytics, and I'll be showing you a little bit of how to automate your reporting, okay? Because you'd find out that most of the time, some of the things that you need to do are repetitive. But how do you ensure that those repetitive tasks are not monotonous at the end of the day, because you have to do them over and over and over again? If you have something you have to provide weekly, you have a report you need to generate monthly, bi-weekly, how do you automate the process to ensure that you are able to get it done as fast as possible? And Excel has made this possible for us, providing an amazing tool called Office Scripts. And we're going to leverage Office Scripts today. So between now and the next 1.5 hours, I'll walk you through the entire journey today, diving into the HR analytics and also showing you how to use Office Scripts. Okay, Mary, if you could make me the co-host so I can share my screen. Okay, so we'll start the session by way of introduction for those of you that are joining us for the first time and for those of you that have been here before. Mary, if you are there and you can hear me, okay, fantastic. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and let's get started. All right. Okay, so today we're diving into automating reports using Office Script. Just give me 1 second. Let me share the other screen. So, all right, beautiful. Automating our reports using Office Scripts. Now, before we start, how many of you have heard about Office Scripts or if you've used Office Scripts before? Just type in a yes into the chat. If you haven't used Office Scripts, type in no into the chat. Before we get started, just type in yes or no if you have or haven't used Office scripts. No, no, no. Awesome. So we're learning something new today. Thanks, Almaroof and iPhone. So you will be learning something new today in our session, all right? For us at Tenalytics, we are an educational technology company breaking barriers within the tech ecosystem, helping more Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Africa, to transition into tech by providing premium training programs across different areas, from data analytics to data science to data engineering, HR analytics, financial analytics, and so on and so forth. Because we've known and we've seen that over the years, the best way to transition into tech is, first of all, having the skills. It doesn't matter your education, it doesn't matter your background, your experience, you must have the skill. And we do a fantastic job in equipping you with those skills to help you break that barrier and transition into the space. And over the last 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people to make that switch from the classroom to getting their first jobs in tech. And we pride ourselves on the quality of the facilitators, the trainers, and the experts that would train you, prepare you, and equip you with those skills. They come from the best of the best organizations, from Apple to McKinsey, Amazon, Coca-Cola, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, who is speaking to you today and who will be driving the session? My name is Adeza. I'm the founder of Tenalytics. I'm a data analytics expert with close to a decade years of experience across different areas, different sectors. I've worked in the financial services. I've worked in energy. I've worked in educational technology, in sports, and also in automobile. I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK and in the US, currently based in Canada, to also help as many Africans and people of the Black community to transition into the tech ecosystem. And I'll be your facilitator for today. All right. So feel free, ask as many questions as soon as they occur to you, and I'll be very happy to take those questions. Now, what are we doing today? We'll start with a very quick practical case study. And the case study would focus on using Office scripts to automate reports, all right, as a HR analyst. Okay, so you'd have a sneak peek. You dive into the world of Office scripts to automate what you do, especially for those tasks that happens weekly, monthly, you do this daily, and so on and so forth, right? And secondly, I'll show you the skills you need to transition into HR analytics, because this is, a particular area that people find very, very confusing. They don't know how to start. Do I need to have this? Do I need to have that? And today I'll be walking you through the specific skills that you need to make that switch, and also introduce you to our upcoming program and the International Women's Month scholarship that we have ongoing. This time around, the scholarship is not just for the women and also for the men. All right. And I'll be explaining the reason why we are also making this open to a few men, not every, body, but just a few men that will be taking part and being a part of this scholarship. Now, I'm going to show you what the data looks like. Okay. So I have 2 data sets. We're going to work with one data set and would use another data set to test. Because remember, we want to automate a couple of things that we'll be doing in the next few minutes. Once that is automated, imagine you receive additional data tomorrow and you want to carry out those same steps you had carried out the previous day. How can you do that? By just the click of a button, and the same task you ran yesterday, you can run it today without any additional calculations or any additional, stress from you. Because as professionals, as analysts, your main objective is to be as efficient and also effective as possible. All right. I'll show you what the data looks like. The data is available. It's going to be available to everybody that joins this session. You'd have the data in the slides, and I'll share that, with you at the end of today's session. But let's look at our case study. Okay. Just give me 1 second, please. I'm going to show you the case study. And the case study is on what? Automating productivity reports. All right. I'm just going to share that with you now. Okay. And it's for a company in the tech ecosystem. So we're going to automate a productivity report. Now, why are we focusing on productivity? Let's look at the case study a little bit, in-depthly. The background, a particular organization, Global Tech Solution, it's a company in the tech ecosystem, provides services to software companies, and they have a team of software developers, project managers, quality assurance analysts, and so on and so forth. Okay, spread across various departments. Now, over the last year, this organization has been facing challenges with their project delivery times. They've had a lot of delays. Projects have been going beyond the deadlines. And because of this, they've had significant delays and major issues with their customers. So there are also complaints of low turnouts for internal training programs. All right. So apart from the fact that there's been a lot of delays and, project delivery timelines are being overrun and so on and so forth, the company is currently facing a major challenge with regards to productivity. How productive are we? Are we meeting our deadlines? Are we not meeting the deadlines? And so on and so forth. So the HR department has been tasked with the responsibility of analyzing employee productivity to identify patterns in the data, areas of improvement, and in short, just to find out where the issues are generally. Okay, there are so many amazing analyses we can do with these data sets, but because I don't want our session to take too much time today, I'll dive into just a little bit of what we can do. We'll look at 3 very simple insights. Okay, and while carrying out and extracting those insights, we'll automate it using Office scripts. If you've heard of macros or VBA in Excel, just type in a yes into the chat. If you've ever heard of macros, you've heard of VBA in Excel, type in a yes into the chat. If you haven't, you can also type in a no. Okay, Al-Maruf has heard about macros and also VBA. Fantastic. Now, for those of you that have heard about macros and VBA, there are also tools and languages to help you automate your reports, automate your activities on Excel. However, Office scripts is like macros on steroids. Office scripts is macros hyper-tuned. All right. So Office scripts is a lot more flexible and can do a whole lot more compared to what you do with macros. And we're going to look at what we can do today using Office scripts. All right. Now, some of the key insights we're going to look at, because this company faces issues with project delivery, delays, there's concern with regards to productivity of employees. Would first of all determine employees that have completed their task. Okay, because you have different categories of employees, people that work on site and people that work from home. So WFH simply means work from home. Okay, we're going to find out who has completed more tasks. Okay, is that the employees that have worked from home or the employees that work from the office on site? Okay, that's the first insight we'll dive into. Secondly, we want to see who is causing the delays in project deliverables and how long does it take to complete task. So who is causing these delays? All right, how long does it take? So for people that work from home and people that work on site, how long do they take to complete that task? We're also going to find out from the data that we have. And finally, because training has also been a concern where you have several complaints of people saying that there's low turnout for internal training. So we want to find out who attends training programs and who doesn't attend training programs. Okay, so these are the 3 major insights we'll be looking at today. And like I mentioned, we're going to use Office scripts and Excel to do this. Office Scripts is definitely in Excel, and I'll show you how to use Office Scripts, and I'll also show you how to complete what we need to complete for today. Let's first of all go back to the data sets. We have two data sets, like I said. They are similar, very similar, but the reason why we have two is we'll use one for our practical, and then we'll use the other one to test once we are done. You don't need any experience to do the things I'll be showing you how to do, all right? No experience whatsoever. Now, all you need to do, let me just put this here, okay? So all you need to do once you receive the slides is click on this link. And I'm also going to share the link in the chat for those of you that would want to do and follow what I'm doing, all right? I'm going to share the link in the chat so you can access the data. So I just posted the data sets in the chat, data sets. Okay, I've just posted it in the chat so you have access to the data sets. If you want to do the things I'm doing, fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to click on this link. Let me just do this. Okay, I need you to see every single thing I'm doing. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to click on the link. The very first one, employee productivity. So let's click on that. And this takes us into an Excel online file, okay? Just like when you click on it, it takes you to this particular page and you see the data set and you see what it looks like. All right, so let's wait for it to come up. Okay, so this is what the data looks like. You have your employee IDs. Every employee has their unique identifier. When you get employed in a company, they give you an employee number, they give you a staff number, a staff ID. You can call it what you want, but it's simply a number that identifies each employee. You have the employee age, you have the gender, male or female or other, depending. You have the department, software development, quality assurance, project management, and so on and so forth. You have the work mode, work from home, on-site, work from home, on-site, and so on and so forth, right? Now, you have task completed. How many tasks did this particular employee ID number 1, how many tasks was completed? 8. Deadlines met. Did this employee meet the deadline or not? No, did not meet, all right? What else? Hours spent on project. So how many hours did this employee spend on the project, the 8 projects that he had? 81 hours, okay? Satisfaction rating, 4 trainings attended, 6 certifications obtained, 2. This is what our data set looks like. And typically, for most of us, when you get to work in organizations, you'd have HRIS systems, okay? HRIS, HR systems, that's HR information systems, okay? And you have so many of them that you would use to get data from employees, employee engagement survey, performance management, and so on and so forth. Now, the data would reside within the system and stored somewhere in a database. As an analyst, that data gets extracted and you have the data in a form and in a shape that looks like this. Okay, sometimes you would be the one to have to extract the data from the system, either download as a CSV, download as an Excel file, or if it's in the database, you can work from the database and extract your data from the database, okay? However, we are working in a scenario where this data has been provided to us from the HRIS system, and the data would come in weekly. Every week you get another data, and you need to identify exactly what is going on in terms of the task completed by the different categories of employees based on their work mode. Do they work remotely? Do they work on site? And so on and so forth, just like we highlighted. Now it's time for us to download, right? I'll go to File, click on File. So when you want to download this data set, after clicking on the link, all you need to do is click on File, go to Save As, save as, and then download a copy. Straightforward. File, save as, download a copy. And the moment you download a copy, you'd have a copy downloaded on your computer. Okay, so the moment I go to my downloads, and let me just show you my downloads right now. I have my downloads here. The moment you go to the downloads, you'd see the data set, employee productivity, employee productivity. So let's open this up and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this, open up the file, which is exactly what I just showed you when I clicked on the link. But this time around, I've downloaded it on my computer. Okay, so let's open it up. Okay, so it's on my other screen. I'm just going to drag this to the screen where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's what the data looks like when I download on my computer. And because I'm just downloading, I downloaded it online, you'd have a security notification, but enable editing, that's fine. I want to work on the data itself. So I click on enable editing. And now I can do all the things I want to do with these data sets. Okay, now let's, track back a little bit. What exactly are we trying to do from here? Don't forget that we have a task we want to, complete. And we want to find out a couple of, get some couple of insights from the data set very quickly. The first one is to determine who completed more tasks. Is it people that work on site or people that work from home? That's the first thing we want to find out because we are focused on employee productivity. But then again, when we do this, we want to put at the back of our minds that we want to automate the process. And that's where Office Script comes in. Now, will everybody have Office Script on their Excel? The answer is no. Office Script is available on Excel Online and also Office 365. So if you have Office 365, you have access to use Office Script. And how do you check if you have access to Office Script? At the top of your Excel ribbon, you'd see a tab called Automate. You'd see a tab called Automate. All right. Now, for Excel Online, all you need to do is sign up for Office 365. You can do that, sign up for free. I think they give you a trial period of a month or thereabouts. And all you need to do, if you go on Google and just simply type in Microsoft Office 365 or Excel Online, depending, okay? Microsoft Office 365, you can sign up, and of course, it's not free after a month, but you can get a trial period. But remember that when you have that 1 month trial period, if you don't intend to subscribe, you don't want to forget to cancel, okay? But at the same time, it's very cheap. Okay, if you are subscribing, you are in Nigeria, you are paying in Naira. I know it's less than about 36,000, so it's about 3,000 per month or thereabouts. If you are paying in dollars, it's about in a month, it's less than, it's about $5 or thereabouts. It's ridiculously cheap. So in a year, you are paying less than $50 if you are paying per annum. So for anybody getting into HR analytics or data analytics, you want to have Office 365, okay? Or you can simply just type in Excel Online free, okay? Excel Online free, all right? And you can sign up on Excel Online, and then you'd have access to Automate on your Excel, okay? But if you have Office 365 downloaded and installed on your computer, you would see Automate right here. So the moment I click on Automate, you would see that it brings up a couple of buttons I can interact with, and this is Office Script. You'd see record actions, new scripts, and you'd see some scripts that have been created. Some of them already exist by default, okay? If you want to freeze a selection, you have a script to do that. If you want to count empty rows, you have a script to do that, okay? So you can create these scripts and they serve as, actions for you to do something without, carrying it out every single time, okay? Now, if you are advanced, like me, for example, you can write your own script. If you click on New Scripts over here, it brings up the code editor for you, and you can write in your own scripts if you want to, all right? You can write in your own scripts. It's a language that is very easy to learn, nothing too technical. However, you don't have to bother yourself learning how to write all of this. This is the least of your problems. Why? Because Excel can do it for you automatically without you batting an eyelid. Okay, so I'm going to close this. We want Excel to write the scripts for us. And for us to do that, we want to record our actions. So instead of writing the script yourself, you want to record actions. Okay, so if you click on record actions, it would ask you, because I've used it before, but usually it would ask you, do you want to record or do you want to write a new script? So now you can see that it is recording. You would see recording highlighted, and you have start editing this workbook. As you edit, your actions will be recorded in this space. Select stop to save your actions as a script that you can run later. Now, let's test and do something very quickly before we start the main stuff. If I go all the way here and I type, let me type something, hello, Adeza, okay? I type hello Adeza in the cell and I hit enter. You would see that you have copy as a code. Something has happened here. So this particular task I just completed by typing hello Adeza, it has been recorded, all right? Now, I want to make this bold and make the font size a bit bigger. I'll click on the Home tab. I'll click on bold. I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay, increase the font size, increase the font size, increase the font size again. And let me extend the margin a little bit. So every single thing I do would be recorded. You can see this, edit N2, bold N2, set font size to 16, set width to this, all right? Now, I can save this script. I have recorded it. I can just click on stop. Okay, I click on stop. The script will be recorded. I'm going to rename that script. This is just us playing around before we go into the main stuff, okay? So I click on scripts to rename. Okay, so I click on script over here. Let's rename. Let's call this Adeza or Adeza name. Hit enter, and that's the name of the script. I can use this script on any other workbook. Even outside this workbook, I can use the same script. Okay, now let's test this script and see if it works. So let's open a new new sheet, a new worksheet. All right. So I come here, I click on the plus sign, open a new worksheet, a blank sheet completely. There is nothing here. I want to test if this script works. The script that writes my name that says hello Adeza, does it work? I'll just simply come here, click on what? Run. So let's click on run and see what happens. So I click on run. Okay, at the moment I click on run, what happened? You see hello Adeza appear in cell N2. If I open any other workbook outside this workbook, I would still be able to use the same script in any workbook that I have. And that's the beauty of, having Office scripts on your Excel. But let's go to the main stuff, okay? So this is just testing it out to see. Let's go to the main stuff. Okay, so I can go back, I can delete the scripts. Okay, you can see your scripts over here in your code editor. You can delete, rename, and do all the things. You can run the scripts from here and so on and so forth. Okay, now let's close this. All right, I don't need this here. We're just testing. Let's go to the main data itself and let's work from here. Now, what do we want to do? We want to find out the employees, the categories of employees that completed their task. Remember, you have the number of tasks completed. So who completes more tasks? Who is more productive? People that work from home or people that work on site? There's a trend recently where companies are beginning to tell their employees to resume back in the office because of productivity issues. So this is a typical case where you want to compare people that work from home, people that work on site. So as HR, you don't just assume and come up with recommendations. It has to be data driven. So you gather the data from maybe the heads of departments, finding out how many tasks and projects were assigned for this month or this week, how many were completed based on the employees that work from home and those that work in the office. And it's time for you to do a little bit of analysis to find out if the employees that have been more productive, okay? So what we are going to simply do is, first of all, identify the work from home and on-site. So I'm just going to go to the right-hand side over here on my data, the right-hand side over here, okay? I want to bring out all the different type of work modes. Remember, I cannot see the data from the top till the end. I can only see a couple of the data sets. If I scroll down, I would see a whole lot more, all right? I want to find out, when you look at work mode, do you only have work from home and on-site, or do you have any other type? Perhaps you could have hybrid, but hybrid is way at the bottom, so you can't see it by just looking at the data at face value, okay? So I'll come to the right-hand side. So let's do the very first one. So let's call this reports. Before I start typing, let's not forget we want to record this so we can play it out and run the script later, okay? So before we start, we go back to automate, all right? And we click on what? Record actions. Record actions. I click on record actions. And you would see at the right-hand side, it's recording. So everything I do now would be what? Recorded, okay? So let's start. So I come here and I type what? Work mode. Work mode. Okay, I type work mode, and this is my first report. So let's call this report 1. And report 1 is all about what? It's all about task completed by work mode. Okay, task completed by work mode. That's the first report. So I have the work mode, but now I want to find out, do I have work from home and only on-site, or do I have more? Okay, and I'm going to use a formula to do that, or a function called unique. A function called what? Unique. Unique would remove all the duplicates. It would go into this work mode column, all right, and give me only the unique values that I have here. So I have work from home, work from home, work from home. There are a lot of duplicates. Unique would take out all the duplicates and give me just the unique records that I have under work mode. So I go to my work mode and I type equal, and I start to type what? Unique, U-N-I-Q. And of course, you'd see unique appear. Okay, you'd see unique appear, all right? I'm going to double click on unique to select, and unique would simply ask you, provide me with the column, the array that you want to get unique records from, okay? And for me, that array is my work mode. So I come back to my work mode and I select everything from the top right to the bottom. From the top right to the bottom. So once I click on the very first cell under work mode, I hold my Control and Shift on my keyboard, Control and Shift, hold it together and press the down arrow key. And that selects everything for me from the top to the bottom. And that's all I need to do. And I hit enter. Okay, and the moment I hit enter, under my work mode, you would see the unique records. It has given us work from home. It has also given us what? On-site. So it means that if you look through work mode, the only two work modes you'd find are work from home and on-site. Remember, we are recording, okay? Now that I know the work modes that I have, I want to find out the task completed. So let's call this number of task completed. So we want to see who is working and who is not working. People that are working from home, are they actually working or not? Or people that are working on site, are they doing a lot more than people working from home? Okay, so let's find the number of task completed based on the work mode. Again, I'm going to use another function to help me sum, okay? Because we have task completed, right? And to sum up the task completed, I have work from home, work from home, work from home, work from home. I have 8, 7, 10, 7. So I need to sum 8 plus 7, 15, plus 10, 25, plus 7, 32. But that'll be very frustrating to keep on summing it one by one based on work from home. So when I'm done from here, 32, I come here, 32 plus 7, 39. That's very manual, okay? So I'm going to use another function called what? Sum if. The sum if. And sum if would help us do one thing. It would help us sum up the task completed based on the different work modes. Okay, so I want you to work with me. I want you to pay attention, and I want you to, follow what I'm doing. All right, carefully. Now, I come to number of tasks, and I'll use the sum if, and I'll say equal sum ifs. Okay, I'll use sum ifs. Now, the sum ifs would ask you for 3 major arguments, or we can call it 3 major results. What do you want? Sum if wants 3 major arguments from you. How do you put these arguments? The first one is the sum range. The sum range is simply, what do you want to sum? We want to sum what? We want to sum the task completed. So I come here and I select task completed by just clicking from the top to select everything. So when you see the arrow pointing downwards, I just click on that to select task completed. That's the range I want to sum. Once I select the range I want to sum, I put a comma. Okay? Now, the next thing the sum ifs would ask you for is called the criteria range. So the criteria range is simply this work from home and on-site. Where do you have it in this data? Where does it exist? It exists under work mode, correct? I'll select the entire work mode because that's where I want to sum. I want to sum based on all of this work from home, on-site, work from home. So sum ifs will say that now that you've given me the sum range, which is task completed, you want to sum up everything here based on which criteria range. This is the criteria range over here. So I select the work mode. I want you to sum task completed based on the work from home and on-site. So I select everything here. I put a comma. And the last thing it would ask me is for the criteria. So the criteria is what I have here, WFH and on-site, because those are the only 2 work modes that I have. So I'm just going to select the first one, and the second one will be done for me automatically. So I'm simply saying this is the criteria. Go to this criteria range under work mode. Wherever you see work from home, WFH, sum up the task completed. Okay, so wherever you see work from home, go to work mode. Wherever you see it, sum up the task completed. And I close my bracket. And that's all I need. Okay, I'll do the second one again so that we get the steps one more time. So once I've done this, I hit enter. and it's going to sum up the total number of tasks completed by employees that worked from home. And what do we have? 1,538. Okay, now let's do the one for on-site. Now for on-site, because I can type it again, I'll just type in the formula one more time, okay? Or I can simply just drag it down. I can drag this down and it will give me the results, okay? But let's type it out so that people that would want to, that didn't understand it the first time, we try to do it again. So I'll do the same thing, equal sum ifs. I want to use the sum ifs, double click on it. It would ask me for the sum range, which is the range you want to sum. What do you want to sum? I want to sum task completed. I select task completed, everything from the top right to the bottom, hit comma, okay? Criteria range. Your criteria range is simply this work from home and the on-site. Which column would you find them? You'd find them in the work mode, because that's what you want to sum. You want to sum work from home and on-site. Those are the two criteria. Where would you find them? Which range would you find them? You'd find them under work mode, correct? Select work mode from the top to the bottom. Press your comma again one more time. And the last thing is to enter the what? The criteria, which is, you can select work from home, which is the first one we did, but this time around we select what? On-site. So we are simply saying, take on-site, go to work mode, look for all the on-sites under work mode and sum up the task completed. That's all. Close the bracket and hit enter. Okay, so now we've done the very first one. We've seen the work mode, work from home, on-site. We've seen the number of tasks, 1,538, 3,046. Now, I want you to tell me, let me maximize this a little bit. Okay, I want you to tell me, all right, who is working in this company? People that are working from home or people that are working on site? Just based on what we've done, type it in the chat. On site or work from home? Type it into the chat. On site or work from home? Who is working in this organization? On site. Because looking at, thank you very much, Al-Maruf. Looking at the task completed, you can see clearly that more people have completed their task working on site than working from home. Okay, so now that we've seen this in the very first report, we want to do what? Create a chart. Thank you, Sunday. Thank you, iPhone and Adeni. The next thing I want to do is to create a chart to show. So visually, we can see that, oh, on-site is way up and work from home is way down there, okay? So what I'll simply do is I'll select the data that I've calculated over here, select it. I'll go to insert. From insert, I'll click on recommended charts over under charts, okay? Click on recommended charts and I'll select any of the charts recommended. So we can use the clustered column and click on OK. All right, so very quickly, we have a chart created and I'll just move this to the right-hand side. Okay, let's move it to the right-hand side. We don't need to format. We're not going to stress formatting because of time. So you can see clearly, you have work from home, you have on-site. So clearly, based on the task completed, people that work on-site have completed far more tasks than those that have worked from home. Okay, great. So, no, that's not correct, Richard. So it's something we can also check to count number of work from home, count number of on-sites. Okay, to check. It's a good question Richard has asked, which is it possible that we have more people working on site than people working from home? So it's something you can also check by doing a count. We don't have much time, but let's do it. Let's count. Okay, so let's go to what? Report number 2. Okay, so report number 2. let's say we want to find out number of employees by work mode, just like what Richard has suggested. Number of employees by work mode. Okay, so let's increase this. That's the second report we want to create. As we are doing all of this, remember, it's everything we are doing, we are recording it in our Office script. Okay, now let's come here. I'll type in okay, I'll come here and I'll type in what? Work mode, just like I did above. But this time around, number of employees. Okay, so similar to what we did above, where we use unique to find work from home and on-site. We're going to use that same unique again to still do the same thing here, all right? So equal unique, I'll use the unique function, and then I'll select the colon I want to find my unique values from, which is my work mode. So I go to work mode and I select everything from the top to the bottom, all right? Once you select, just press enter, and that gives you work from home and on-site. Those are the two unique work modes that you have. Let's count the number of employees. The reports we have above, what did we do? We summed up. But this time around, we want to count the number of what? Employees. Count and sum are totally different. So for us to count the number of employees, we're going to use the employee ID column, okay? That's where we would count from. Or we can simply still count from work mode. It really doesn't matter, okay? So let's come here and use the count if. So I'll use equal count ifs. Okay, so I'll use the count ifs. What criteria range do you want to count? Okay, our two criteria, we have two criteria, work from home and on-site. Work from home and on-site. Those are the two criteria we have. Where would you find these criteria in the data that you have here? You'd find them under where? Work mode. Okay, so I select that as my criteria range. Okay, I put a comma. And the next is criteria. So what's the first criteria you want to count from that range you've selected? So selecting the work mode, give me the criteria you want to count. The criteria I want to count is work from home. So count this one for me first, and then count on-site. So I select work from home, close my bracket, hit enter, and it counts the number of employees. How many employees are working from home? 248. You can do exactly the same thing on-site and you get the same results, but I don't want to write the formula again. I can simply use the fill handle at the down right corner, just drag it down, click on the fill handle at the down right, drag it down, and I have the number of what? On-site. So what's the difference? Just 4. So that's why I said the other time, for the gentleman that mentioned it, I think that was Richard, they are very similar in terms of the number of employees working from home and working on site. So 248, 252, the difference is just 4. Okay, so they are pretty similar. You have similar equal number distribution of employees working from home and working on site. And now that you've seen this, you've seen that all the projects are completed by people working on site. People that work from home are doing just about 1/3 of the work in this organization, okay? So we'll do one more report and then we'll test our Office scripts to see if it would run on a totally new data set, okay? Now, the third report we want to find out, remember, we also want to see who is causing the delays in project deliverables. How long does it take to complete task? Okay, how long does it take to complete task in this particular company? So let's go to report number 3. All right, report 3. And let's call this average hours spent spent on projects. Okay, average hours spent on projects. Let's call it that. Make it bold, increase the font size just a bit, and let's come here. Again, we want to see for those that are working from home and those that are working on site, you have hours spent on projects. So we want to see who spends longer time on projects, because we've seen that people that work on site complete their projects, complete a whole lot more projects, way more projects than people that work from home. So for those that work from home, are they spending more time, or are people working on site spending more time? We want to find out the average hours spent on projects from work from home and on site. Okay, so the same thing, work mode. Okay, and here we want to call this average hours. Okay, average hours and work mode. Same way, can't see my screen. Somebody's saying they can't see my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen. Just type in a yes if you can. I believe you should be able to see my screen, but just type in a yes if you can't see. If you can see my screen, type in a yes if you can. Okay, Adeni is saying yes now. All right, great. Maybe it's just a glitch network from your end, Adeni. So again, equal unique. We've done this so many times. So I want to find the unique work mode very quickly. Okay, select everything, hit enter. It gives you work from home on site. And this time around, we want to find the average hours spent. Average hours spent on projects. We have the data already. Hours spent on projects. Okay, so I come here and I use average if. We use sum if to do the very first one, to find the total number of tasks completed, sum ifs. The second one, Richard suggested it, how many people, how many employees, we did a count if. For the third one, we're going to do an average if, so that we can find the average based on the work mode. Okay, so I come here, equal, and I type average ifs. Average ifs. What range do I want to average? I want to average the hours spent on projects. I select that. That's the range I want to average. Give me the average, comma. The criteria range. My criteria is work from home and on-site. So where is the range that contains work from home and on-site? I go to my work mode and I select the range that contains work from home and on-site, and I put another comma. And what is my criteria? My criteria is what? WFH, work from home. That's the first criteria. Then the second one would be on-site. So once I've entered the first one, close the bracket and then hit enter. So average hours spent on projects for people that work from home is 161 hours. Let's drag this down and see. For people that work on site, it's just 68 hours, 68.6, but let's close the decimal places. So I'll select these two cells, select them. I'll go to my home tab, and then I'll decrease the decimal, decrease. Click on this until all the decimal places are gone. Decrease decimal, okay? So you round up, take out all the decimal places so you have a whole number, right? So 161 hours are spent on the average for employees that work from home. While people that work on site, even though they complete so many more projects, they only spend 69 hours. So there's definitely a problem for employees that work from home. And this is a major, major challenge, all right? So what are we going to do? Excuse me. Let's create a chart as well, okay? The recommendations will come from you. So I'm going to select the data and I'll click on Insert, click on Recommended Charts. This time around, let's use a clustered bar. So it's a bit different, all right? And I click on OK. This gives us a clustered bar. Bring it down here where you have your average hours spent on a project, okay? Let's retitle. So average hours spent, let's retitle, spent on projects. Okay, remember, every single thing we are doing, is being recorded in our Office script. You can see that at the right-hand side. Every single thing we are doing is being recorded. Every single thing we are doing. Okay, now let's stop here because of time, so we can wrap up in very good time. Okay, now everything has been recorded, everything you've done so far. The first report, the second one, the third one, they've all been recorded. Okay, now I'll click on stop to stop recording the script. Click on stop to stop recording. All right, and then let's rename this script. So it currently says script 1, but I'm going to click on script 1 and let's rename this employee productivity. Employee productivity, and hit enter. So you give the script a new name. You can give it a description as well if you want to. All right. I'll click here to enter a description and I'll call this a script to generate employee productivity insights. All right, we can do a whole lot more. Hit enter. Because of time, I don't want to keep you here for too long. So we've done this. We can close it completely. Okay, so I've renamed my script. I've called it employee productivity. I've given it a description. I can close it completely. All right, I close this completely. Okay, I close this completely. All right, so you can see the reports that we've generated. Okay, I don't want to lose my analysis because I want us to come back here and see what we did initially. Okay, so I'm just going to click on save to save what I've done. All right, to save my work, and I'll close this. Now it's time for us to download our test data to test on a fresh data set and see if it works on that data set. The same way we downloaded the first one, I go to the second employee productivity test, and that's the reason why I kept the test data here. Now, for those of you that have gone online and you've not found Automate, that's simply because it is not Office 365. Make sure you subscribe to Office 365. Like I mentioned earlier, it is paid, but you can do a 1-month trial. So there's a 1-month trial. It's an Office 365. You sign up to the account. You're likely going to have to enter your card details because it is a paid subscription. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning, if you want Office 365, which is the best, way you can work with Excel, because every new update gets updated on your Excel. I've never updated my Excel for once. The updates, any updates that happens, any new feature, any new tool, new function that comes up in Excel, I have it on my Excel because I'm running on Office 365. You can get that for free. Okay, get it for free. And if you want to keep the subscription, you can go ahead and pay. If you don't, ensure that within a month, you cancel that subscription so that you don't get debited at the end of the month. Okay, so now let's download the second one. I'm just going to click here, employee productivity, I beg your pardon. Okay, it takes me into the second data set, just like the way it took us to the first one. Sorry, I don't want to enter my password here. Let me do it through this place. Okay, so the same thing. I want you to see exactly what you would see when you try to do it yourself. So click on the data again. Whenever you click on it, it's going to bring it up here. All right, it will open it into a data online and you can download easily. Okay, so this is what the test looks like. Employee productivity test. Very similar to the first one. Okay, you go to File, click on Save As, and click on Download a copy. Okay, I'm going to send the test data to you as well. Let me send that to you. I sent the first one, which is the main data set we worked with, but let me send the test to the chat. This is Excel, not Power BI, Adeni. Automate is in Excel, not in Power BI. Okay, so let's call this test data. Okay, so I just dropped the link to the test data, very similar to the first one. All right, so let me go to my downloads. So you see the second data set here, employee productivity test, and I'll open this up by double clicking. All right, so let's open it up. So this is a fresh data set. We've not done anything here. I click on enable editing so we can work on the data. All right. Now I want to run the script I recorded in the previous workbook so that imagine that this is a new week. You've gotten a new data set. You want to do the same thing you did the previous week. You don't want to start from scratch again. And what we've done is very, I would say, very basic in terms of the vast power that Office scripts have and the immense analysis you can do from just this data set that you have. We just scratch the surface. Okay, so if I click on automate, all I need to do is click on all scripts and it will bring up the scripts that I've recorded in the past. Okay, I click on what? All scripts. And you see the scripts that we recorded. This is the last one we recorded, called what? Employee productivity. Employee productivity. I can run it straight away from here, or I can click on it to open it. So now, when you have the skills to do a lot more advanced, I would say, editing to your scripts, you can actually modify the scripts. If you click on edit, it shows you everything that was recorded while you were doing your analysis. Okay, so you'd see where you have where you created your charts, the very first chart. Okay, you'd see what you did, moving the chart to the left, the top, the width, the height, everything. When you resized and moved your charts, you can see every step was recorded. Every step was recorded. Okay, when you typed your report number 2, number of employees by work mode, everything you did, the unique function that you used, the count ifs, everything you did was recorded here. You can modify this code, okay, because it's pretty simple to learn how to write the code. But like I said, at this stage is really not your problem. You really don't want to bother yourself, writing or rewriting the codes. The codes have been written for you already. All you need to do is just to what? Run. Okay, so I click on back and let's run this code and see what happens on a fresh new data set. So I just click on run. All right, and Office scripts will do the magic for me. And once I scroll to the right-hand side, you would see the new charts, the new reports generated, okay, based on the scripts I had created initially. All right, so this is a new data set and I didn't have to select anything. I didn't need to write any formula. I didn't need to do anything else. But Office script has done what? Generated the same report I had in the initial workbook, done the same thing for me by simply clicking the button run. Now, why is this amazing and powerful for any analyst? If you have dirty data that you need to clean on a regular basis, once you've cleaned it the first time, you don't have to bother yourself cleaning it again the following week, the following month. You've done analysis, you have some reporting that you need to carry out every month, every week, bi-weekly. You don't have to do the same thing week on, week out. You do it the very first time, record the script, and all you need to do is come here and click on play. And you are able to run your script. And that's the power and the amazing benefits of what? Office scripts. Like I said, we've just scratched the surface in terms of what we can do using Office scripts. But I hope you've learned something new today using Excel. You want to do the same thing I've done. All you need to do, subscribe to Office 365, okay? If you want to subscribe and pay, fantastic, you can go ahead and do that. If not, go for the 1-month trial. and ensure you cancel your subscription before the end of the month. And you'd have access to what? Automate. That's the magic button that helps you record scripts. I use this every day while I worked for different organizations. And everybody would say, wow, Adeza is a superstar. He gets these things done very, very fast. And what's the magic? The magic is Office scripts and so many other key insights and key skills that you would learn as a HR analyst or a data analyst and so on and so forth. Okay. Richard is saying, hello, boss. I have Office 365. It's a software that I have automated. I'm not sure I understand your question, Richard. Once you have Office 365 on Excel, you would have the automate button at the top. So most of the time, organizations are all subscribed to Office 365 Enterprise. So if you are using your work laptop, you'd have access to this easily without you having to do anything else. Why did we use ifs and not if? You can use any of the two. Okay, I use ifs because ifs gives you the opportunity to enter multiple criteria, multiple arguments. Okay, you can use if, and I always tell people this at Deni, there are 1,001 ways to do the same thing, usually when you work with any analytic tool. All right, 1,001 ways. This report we generated this way, we can do this in 10 other ways that are even more efficient than what we've done so far. All right, so you can use if, but I used ifs because ifs gives me more arguments. So I prefer using that every single time. Okay. All right. So we're going to draw the curtains with the practical session of using Office scripts here. So the moment you have another data, you can close this. Don't save. You open up a new data set. Okay. You open up a new data set. You've not done anything on the data. You open up the data again. You go to automate. You go to all scripts. All you need to do, find the scripts that you want. We want the script on employee productivity. Just run it. Click on play to run, and it would run the script and create all your reports for you. And you have your reports there using Office scripts. All right. If you've learned something new today, just type in a 1 into the chat. If you've learned something new from today's session, type in a 1 into the chat. Adeni types 1. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Just type in a 1 if you've learned something new. iPhone. Brilliant. So I want you guys to go back, test Office scripts, and you can do so many more amazing stuff using Office scripts. Because of time, we have one more question we did not answer here, which is who is attending more training sessions? Okay. But I don't want to take too much time, so I'm just going to dive back into our slides and start to wrap up our session for today. Okay. Now, one of the major questions people ask is, as a HR analyst, what do you do? What's your responsibility? All right. And what do you do in an organization? Do you need to have experience as a HR, practitioner to get into a HR analyst role? And the answer is no. You can get into HR without any experience you can get into HR analytics, become a HR analyst without any experience in HR. A HR analyst does very key, important, plays a major role, very important, key role in an organization. And that role is to analyze data and ensure that HR strategies, processes, procedures, and policies are from a data-driven perspective. So HR is not assuming that because everybody else is saying people should resume to the office, we also have to resume to the office. We want to get the data, analyze the data to find out, do people really need to come to the office? And that's why you analyze something like productivity. Who is more productive? Why are they more productive? What category of employees are working from home and are more productive than others? And these are the type of analysis you want to carry out. So as a HR analyst, that would be the crux of the work that you do, to give recommendations on strategies from a data-driven perspective. And every organization wants HR that is strategic and not just the conventional HR, practitioner. So you, as a HR analyst, you'll be converting data that looks like this, and you convert them into insights that looks like this. You create dashboards using Power BI. Somebody talked about Power BI. So you take raw data, analyze the data using different tools, and then generate dashboards and insights like this, all right? Where you can go ahead to even identify so many different, aspects of the business that you never knew until you carried out your analysis. What's the key reason for selecting HR analytics as a career path in 2024? Because you want to transition, you want to ensure you are moving into a career path that is very high in demand. One of the major reasons why HR analytics is very high in demand is because of the ease of learning. It's something you can learn within 3 to 4 months. You learn the skills required to transition in 3 to 4 months. Secondly, the ease of transitioning and getting a job. Every organization today wants a professional that has analytic skills. One of the career paths that is going down, that is declining in demand today, is accounting. Who knew about this? That accounting is one of the career paths, according to the World Economic Forum, that will decline in the next 5 years. If you know about this, just type in a yes into the chat, that accounting is a career that would, decline in the next 5 years, decline in terms of demand. Yes, absolutely. You guys know this already. However, as an accountant, how do you position yourself in a way that your, career would not, you won't run out of, you won't get out of a job, you won't lose your job, and you still stay relevant in the next 5 years? You must add some level of analytics. And accounting plus analytics would make you become what? A financial analyst. Interestingly, financial analyst is a career path that would grow in demand in the next 5 years, according to the World Economic Forum. So any career path that has to do with analytics, that has to do with AI, that has to do with machine learning, automation, and so on and so forth, those are the career paths that are growing in demand in the next 5 to 10 years. So you want to position yourself in a career path that will grow in demand and not a career path that will decline when you want to transition. And that's one of the beauties of HR analytics. It's easy to transition and get a job because of the demand. And last but not the least, high and rewarding salaries. So the salaries across the different economies, the major economies like the US, the UK, in Canada, across Europe, in Africa, the salary is also absolutely phenomenal. And these are the key reasons why you have HR analytics as one of the career paths for 2024 that you want to get into, all right? And as a HR analyst, you have so many different career, trajectory at your beck and call. Because you have learned HR analytics doesn't mean you only have to become a HR analyst. No, there is a new role today called the HR data analyst. It's an amazing career path. And why is it called the HR data analyst? So this is a HR analyst that can also perform the duties of a data analyst. So you can shift from only looking at people-related data and shift into looking at other type of data like sales data, project data, customer data, and also help to extract insights from that data set. You can get a job as a talent acquisition analyst, compensation analyst, as a HR analytics consultant, and so many other career paths. But the big question is, how do you transition and become a HR analyst? You need to have some set of skills. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong by learning the wrong things, and they struggle. They really can't make a way ahead for themselves, and they get stuck. So what are the skills you need to learn? Number one, you need to learn problem solving. Because as anybody in analytics, anybody that works with data, you need to be able to identify that there is a problem. You need to know the different types of techniques to help you get to the roots of that problem. Carry out root cause analysis using techniques like the 5 whys, where you ask questions 5 times, you ask why 5 times until you get to the roots of a problem. You need to know how to use the prioritization matrix, which is a matrix that helps you prioritize problems that exist. What should I start? What should I stop? Which one is more urgent and important, and so on and so forth. You also need to know how to address and approach a data analytics problem, which you learn using a framework called CRISP DM. Okay, the CRISP DM framework. The cross-industry standard process for data mining. That's the meaning of CRISP DM. Cross-industry standard process for data mining. So for any project that has to do with analytics, it follows this framework. How do you understand the framework to ensure you are able to solve problems for organizations? You learn all of this in problem solving. That's the foundation. Then you move into Excel. What we've done with Excel, like I mentioned earlier, is just scratching the surface, doing a little bit of Office scripts, some little analysis you can do here and there. You'll do a lot more. You know how to build dashboards. You learn how to analyze, summarize, visualize data using Excel. And Excel is that tool that gives you the background, that gives you the entry into analytics. You can't be a HR analyst. You can't do anything analytics without the understanding of Excel as a foundation. Then you move into Power BI. I think it was Adeni or Richard that talked about Power BI earlier. You learn how to use Power BI for data visualization, automating your reports, where you create BI systems, business intelligence systems that get data from a data warehouse, a database. You transform the data in your Power BI, you create a data model, visualize that data, and it updates and automates itself using Power BI. You learn how to do that. You learn SQL, SQL, structured query language. For anybody in data today, you can't go without learning SQL. SQL is the language for databases. SQL is the language that you would use to interact with a database. A database is simply an environment where data is stored for easy access. All right, so how do you access the data? Organizations will not have their data flying here and there. They would have their data in a database. How do you interact with that database? How do you extract the data from the database? How do you do analysis on that database to extract insights and so on? SQL is a language that would help you do that. And as a HR analyst, you must have a very good understanding of SQL to interact with databases. You learn HR analytics and performance evaluation. How do you analyze performance-related metrics in organizations to ensure that the organization is performing in line with the performance of the employees? So remember, as a HR analyst, you are always looking at things from a people perspective, all right? HR metrics and life cycle. This is where you look at different HR metrics from talent sourcing, talent management, absenteeism, attrition and turnover, and so many diversity and inclusion. You look at different analysis to help you measure how well the organization is doing, how well the employees are doing, what strategies to implement to ensure that you are able to reduce attrition. What do you need to do to identify people that are at risk of leaving the company so you can stop them from leaving? And all these things you learn how to do. HR metrics and life cycle. You learn how to create dashboards, carry out amazing analysis, collaborate and automate your reports. One of the things we just showed you using Office scripts, you'd learn how to automate your reports using what? Power BI as well. I think Adeni also mentioned that. You can use Power BI, automate your analysis, automate your reports, and create BI systems. Okay, you learn how to create your case. You build your case and create action. And this is where, as a HR analyst, if you are currently a HR officer, an employee engagement officer, you are doing something HR today, you want to get to that next level. And this is something one of our participants did. Last year, he joined our program, and there was a role opened available for head of HR. There was an assistant manager in the HR department. So the HR manager resigned, and the company needed to fill that role. Now, because one of the key things you learn is how to get data that exists in the organization, even though the company does not do that currently. You learn how to put yourself forward. During meetings when they're having performance reviews, you'd be that person that would raise up your hand and say you want to present or you want to showcase some insights you have found out from the analysis you've done with regards to the people. And this is how you create you create action and build your case, and we'll work with you to do this. And last but not the least is ChatGPT for analytics. Today, you can, but you would be a whole lot more efficient by doing what? Knowing how to use ChatGPT. In fact, I can't overemphasize how important it is and how amazing it is once you know how to use ChatGPT, both 3.5 and 4.0, to do amazing stuff. We're going to show you how to use ChatGPT for HR analytics. Now, how long does it take? Like I said, this is one of the reasons why HR analytics is a career that is very, very high in demand. It takes you 4 months to get into HR analytics, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship. 3 months project-based classes. Your classes are project-based. You solve problems similar to the one we did today, which of course, we just scratched the surface. You'll be faced with a problem like the one that exists today, performance issues, productivity issues, and these are problems faced by real life organizations. The data we worked with today is a real life data from an organization that has been changed. I changed the data so that it doesn't, it addresses privacy issues. You'd work on projects like that, solve problems, and provide recommendations. You do that for 3 months in class. And for 1 month, you work on an internship with a data scientist, with a data analyst, and you'd collaborate in cross-functional projects. I'll show you the internship that is currently ongoing and what the participants are doing at the moment, all right? Your classes are Saturdays and Sundays, meaning that you don't have to be in class every single day. Saturdays and Sundays, and Saturdays, you have the opportunity to be in a class irrespective of where you are. I'm currently in Canada. It is 2:22 p.m. In Nigeria, it should be around 9:22 or thereabouts. In the UK, it should be around 8 something. So you have different time zones, and this makes it difficult to fit people into a single class, all right? But what have we done? We have created classes that fit into your timing. So you have a class, if you are in the UK, you are in Nigeria, you are somewhere in Africa, you are somewhere in Europe, you have similar time zones. So your class happens 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Africa time. If you're in North America, in the US, or you're in Canada, you are in another time zone entirely, you can't fit into that class for those in Nigeria or in the UK. You need to fit into another class. So we have another class for you from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you convert that to West African timing, that will be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you have the flexibility of being in a class that fits your time zone, and your live classes are only on Saturdays. On Sundays, you don't have to join a live class. Your classes would happen self-paced on Sundays. You get something we call Watch Me Do It videos. And these are bite-sized videos where you get to watch the videos, understand the concepts, and then in the live class on Saturday, you work on a project with a trainer and a facilitator. Okay, and that's the mode of the class. Exactly. So Benga says 9:23, Richard says 8:23. So different timings. So we need to provide this flexibility so that our participants get the best from the program. So you have that flexibility in the program, all right? And this is a more detailed curriculum, from problem solving to Excel, to Power BI, to SQL, HR analytics and performance evaluation, metrics and life cycle, dashboarding, creating action, building your case, and so on and so forth. And you have all the curriculum, properly dissected and distilled a little bit further. All right. Some of the projects you're going to work on, you'd work on amazing projects, employee management projects, where you want to find out the best strategies to deploy in this company to manage employees a lot better, to get them to be more productive. You'd work on an employee attrition case study, where the focus for you is to help identify employees that are likely going to leave, so that you can have something we call stay interviews. Okay, stay interviews. Most organizations have exit interviews. When employees say they are leaving, they want to resign, we have exit interviews, and we ask questions, we gather data from these employees, but we don't use it for anything. All right, so you're going to work on a case study where you would analyze employees that have been leaving the organization. And from that analysis, you'd be able to predict and determine people that are likely going to leave in the next few months, in the next 1 year, so you can implement strategies to keep them from leaving, have stay interviews to reassure them so they don't leave the organization. You work on an absenteeism case study where you find and see how absenteeism can affect the productivity, can affect the performance of the organization, and what to do to ensure that you prevent those issues. Talent sourcing analysis. You want to identify the pipeline where you get the best performing employees, the best performing employees. Do they come from LinkedIn? Do they come from your website where you post adverts? Do they come from job boards? Do they come from different, sources? You'd work on this particular case study. You work on so many case studies, okay? You do an analysis report for a company called Smith Corporations. You'd, carry out, write SQL queries to create databases, analyze the database, and so on and so forth. Student performance analysis, and so on and so forth. Now, because we are also grooming you, not just to be HR analysts, but to also add data to it, so you can also perform the role of a data analyst. You don't just work 100% on HR-related case studies. You're going to work on case studies in aviation. You're going to work on case studies in different other areas, charity, work on case studies, budget versus actual analysis, case studies on customer data, and so on. And there's so many projects you're going to work on in your live class, all right? And at the end of your live sessions, you have what? A free internship. And like I said, I'll show you the internship currently ongoing, the project people are working on, and you get to see what they've done and what they are doing at the moment, all right? Now, why Tenalytics? Apart from all the amazing things I've talked about, the amazing curriculum, the project-based way of learning, the flexibility in how you can learn, we, over the last 3 to 4 years, have helped over 2,000 people to transition from the classroom to getting their first jobs. The focus for us is not just on equipping you with the skill. The focus is on helping you transition to get a job. All right. So different people have different objectives. For some people, it's all about promotion. For some people, it's all about being confident in their skills. But majority is all about getting that job, getting a visa sponsorship job in the UK, getting a job to, stay back in Canada, and so on and so forth, and do amazing stuff. And that's where our strength lies in terms of the strategies we've, developed over the years and helped over 2,000 people over the space of 4 years to make that switch. The curriculum, like I mentioned earlier, second to none, best in class, cutting edge curriculum to help you learn the very best skills, not just the skills for learning skills, but the skills that are relevant in today's world. As a HR analyst, you learn how to write effective prompts in ChatGPT to get you the type of insights, to get you the type of results that you want. The curriculum is absolutely fantastic, and you work with the best trainers and the best facilitators in the industry. You have a blended learning approach. Like I mentioned, you don't have to come to class every single day. Classes are on Saturdays. On Sundays, you have a self-paced watch me do it videos. And the most important aspect are the additional employability services, the sessions that helps to position you to land a job. The sessions that positions you to land a job. And this is where we do our best work. And I'll show you a couple of things that we do. And without this strategy or these strategies, you really cannot get a job in the tech ecosystem. You would struggle in the major economies. You would struggle and not get a job because, number one, you don't have a good enough CV. All right. So we would provide you with CV review sessions. We would work with you to show you how to tailor your CV to job applications. So when you apply to a job, you're not applying to 100 jobs with one CV. You're applying to 100 jobs with 100 CVs because you know the importance of tailoring your job application. You know the importance of beating the ATS system, the applicant tracking system, which is a system that looks at keywords from the job requirements, looks at keywords, corresponding keywords on your CV. And if there is no, specific match to a particular threshold, your CV gets thrown out of the pack. How do you position and structure your CV in a way that it gets you the best possible results? LinkedIn is another very important aspect. Now you have a good CV, fantastic CV, but then I want to do further search on you because I'm interested in bringing you into the company. And then I go to your LinkedIn profile and I see somebody who has a totally different persona, who doesn't talk about HR analytics, who has not shown anything related to HR analytics. That's a red flag. And I'll talk about somebody who almost lost an opportunity because of LinkedIn. She did not do what we had told her to do, and she almost lost an opportunity. I'll show you that lady, and I'll show you another gentleman who got his job from LinkedIn as well, based on what he had done on LinkedIn. So we optimize your LinkedIn profile. And if you don't have one, we work with you to create one, all right? Upwork optimization, this is where you build an Upwork profile so you can work on freelancing projects, work for companies remotely across the globe, working on freelancing projects where you can control your time, you can do amazing stuff as a freelancer, all right? Again, once you find yourself in a particular country, for example, in the UK today, you have so many changes to immigration, all right? How do you understand these changes? The shortage occupation list is being scrapped and replacing it with the international salary list. So the shortage occupation list, they're going to scrap it in April and bring in a new list called the international salary list, which would then warehouse all the codes, the job codes that would qualify for a skilled worker visa. And these are the things we bring to you in navigating the job market sessions. How do you get those companies that would sponsor you? How do you look for organizations that have given sponsorship over the years? How do you strategically position yourself for the best opportunities? And this is where you get that done under navigating the job market session. Once you have an opportunity, how do you prepare? We prepare you for interviews and ensure that everything you need to do when you get into that room, you are very well prepared to do them and get the job. We prepare you for your interview by carrying out interview simulation sessions, give you feedback based on your response and tell you what exactly you need to go back to do to prepare well ahead of the for the interview that you have. Once you eventually get the opportunity, you need a reputable organization that would provide you with reference and recommendations. And this is something we also provide for you. Now, the level 2 is the weekly mentorship. I can't also overemphasize how important this is. You have so many people who don't know what to do. You have so many people who carry those misconceptions and the wrong perception of the reality of things. Oh, you need UK work experience to get a job in the UK. You need Canadian work experience to get a job in Canada, which is absolutely nonsense. Those things don't exist. You need people that have been there before, that have threaded that path we are trying to walk, that have achieved and gone ahead of you. You need them to come back to hold your hands, to help you navigate and transition. And that's what the mentorship session is all about. And it's broken into 2 categories. You have the body mentorship, and then you have the industry experts. Let me just call it IE. Okay. Now, the body mentorship is where you have alumni of Tenalytics, people that have they've joined the HR analytics program in the past. They have done well, they've gotten jobs, they've done the things you are literally going to start doing. Okay, you just want to start your journey. They have gone ahead of you, maybe 1 year ahead, a few months ahead. So they have the experience that you don't. So they come back to mentor you. All right. And the industry experts is where myself, the co-founder, other industry experts, we bring them on board to also mentor you. Every Thursday evenings, your mentorship sessions happen to put you through to answer questions and put you through all the different challenges you're going to find and you're going to encounter when transitioning into the tech ecosystem. All right. Now, you also have on-the-job support. And one of the major promises we have this year in 2024 for those joining our program is guaranteed job interview 1 month after you complete your training with us. So you complete your training after 4 months, after your internship. On the 5th month, you must have gotten a job interview. That's a guarantee from us. In fact, what happens 98% of the time, people get interviews when they are still undergoing the program, because one of our principles is you don't wait until the end of the program before you start applying to jobs. All right. And that's our promise to you in the year 2024. And some other new initiatives. I talked about the body mentorship already, where we bring alumni that have gone ahead of you. They've done well. They come back to mentor you because it's easy for you to relate with them because they are your contemporaries. They've just done it a little bit faster than you will be doing. And they'll come back to hold your hands to help you transition. All right. Your internship is an amazing experience for those of you that will be joining. And like I said, before we wrap up today, in the next less than 20 minutes or thereabouts, I'll show you the projects people are currently doing at the moment in the internship, and partnerships with organizations in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and across other African countries. We recently partnered with Eden Life, a company based in Nigeria, but also based in sub-Saharan Africa, where they will be taking our participants, the HR analysts, the data analysts, the data engineers, taking them on board, employing them, and to also recommend them to their subsidiaries. And these partnerships are the partnerships that would help our participants get faster and easy access to the jobs available within the space. Again, it always seems impossible until somebody has done it. All right. So it's good to see some success stories of people that have gone ahead of you. They've done an amazing job. And I said I was going to tell you about a lady who almost lost an opportunity because of her LinkedIn. And this is the lady. Her name is Sonia. And let me give you the story very quickly. Sonia relocated from Nigeria in 2022, moved from Nigeria, moved to the UK, doing her master's. She moved through the education route. She was doing her master's in the UK. Now, before she left, she had reached out to me to say, oh, Adeza, she joined a masterclass like this and said, oh, Adeza, I would love to join the HR analytics program. All right. The reason is because I want to get a job when I'm done. I don't want to do the menial jobs. I don't want to do the difficult jobs. I want to get a job in HR analytics when I'm done. So I said, no problem, join the program. She joined, completed our program sometime early 2023, but she was still doing her master's, but she was applying to jobs. So as she was applying, we had interview preparation. Now, she got an opportunity with British American Tobacco in the UK. British American Tobacco. I'm sure most of you would know British American Tobacco. Now, she had gone through the interview. She did very well. She had presented her case studies and she did very well. However, there was a problem. The hiring manager had gone to her LinkedIn profile. So all the things we had told our participants to do with regards to LinkedIn optimization, practically optimizing your LinkedIn, Sonia had not done that. All right. There was no job summary on her LinkedIn that carried HR analytics. So they went to her LinkedIn profile and they were a bit, confused that there was nothing related to HR analytics on her profile. And the following day, she received a rejection email. Unfortunately, we cannot hire you. And how did she find out? Because Sonia told me this story herself. She found out because on LinkedIn, you can check who viewed your profile. Okay, so she checked, she saw that, wow, the hiring manager had viewed her profile the day before she received the email that told her that she wasn't going to get the job. Now, luckily for Sonia, after that, incident, she went back, she optimized her LinkedIn, did what she needed to do, and another opportunity was open in that same organization, but with a different hiring manager. So HR simply told the new hiring manager that, look, we've interviewed this lady. She's awesome. She did very well. Do you want to speak with her? And then Sonia had another session with a different hiring manager in that same company. And that was how Sonia landed the job as a HR analyst with British American Tobacco. Okay. So you have Victor. Victor got a job working from Nigeria, working for a company in the US as a people operations analyst, did an amazing job. And Victor was able to get his job just 1 month into the program. Victor joined in October. By December, he had started this job. And how was that possible? It was simply possible because of our principle of go ahead and apply. And I'm going to talk to the ladies on the call in the next 5 minutes, because the ladies are the ones that always slow down when it comes to job applications, all right? Studies have also shown the women would always want to have 100% of the job requirements before they apply. Victor got this job simply because of the way he had structured his LinkedIn profile, okay? And I'm going to show you what Victor did, which is what we always recommend and what we always teach and show our participants. But let's first of all listen to what Victor has to say about the program, and then we start to wrap up. Okay, I would love to take your questions, so please jot your questions down and we'll start taking questions shortly. All right. So I'm going to click on this link to take us to, let's listen to Victor very quickly. It's a short video, just about 2 minutes plus or thereabouts. Okay, so let's listen to Victor. Just give me 1 second. Let me share my audio so you can hear exactly what Victor is saying. All right. So I'm going to play the video, listen to Victor and listen to his experience on how he was able to transition into HR analytics.
Hello everyone, my name is Victor. I'm an HR professional with about 3 years of experience that cut across the media, consulting and aviation industry, and I'm here to share about my story with Tenalytics. So sometimes in 2020, just before COVID started, I began to nurse the desire to upskill and upscale my career, and then it felt like data analytics was something I could do. So I went for an event somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria, and at that event I met Adeza Suleiman. It just took us on practical Excel. To be very honest, it was one of the best Excel classes I've had because it was very easy to understand and it was relatable. So what happened was that after the event, I met with Adeza and I got his contact, and then we kept in touch. Fast forward to 2022, I was now at a point where I really felt I needed to take a step beyond the desire of wanting to upskill and upscale, and then I reached out to Tenalytics to take the master in HR analytics course. So we started a course in October, and it was very fascinating. I like the fact that the course is systematic in nature. We moved from problem solving to Excel, and then to Power BI, to dashboard and all of that. But the icing on the cake is that I've always wanted to transition into the technology industry. I believe that tech is an enabler. I believe that tech is the future. And I also know that for someone like me who does not have a tech background, it was important to leverage a tech skill that would allow me to practice in my domain knowledge. Perfect, which is why I went for the Masters in HR Analytics course. So we started a course in October, and then sometimes in November, I started to apply for jobs and to see how I could position myself for a new opportunity. And guess what happened? One of the roles I applied for, I had to work on case studies, I had to do some things and all that. And you would believe me that all that I was taught in class, even as a beginner at that time, was sufficient for me to land that job. You don't know how happy I was to think that I was just thinking of transitioning to tech, didn't know how to go about it, started classes in a few weeks, and of course, I was able to land a job in that little time. And I've been able to transition my career. So far, even the experience of the class was amazing. The facilitators are very simple. They are tender-hearted. They know how to explain. They are very patient. I like the fact there's also a live class, which means that I can participate and then go back to the recordings after the sessions. I'm eventually glad that if I look at myself between October and now, I've definitely grown in my analytics skills, creating my dashboard. Of course, I'm still a learner, but I'm growing. Here's my point, and I'm trying to encourage everyone out there. If you're an HR professional, if you're a finance professional, if you're a supply chain professional, or even if you're an African youth who's looking to upskill, to transition into data analytics or into tech generally, Tenalytics is your sure plug. They have amazing facilitators who have a track record of delivering results. The results among students also speak for themselves, which means that you are signed up to a platform that will not just teach you, but help you to grow. They also have LinkedIn optimization sessions, CV writing sessions, and the icing on the part is the growth internship. You know what? It's one thing to learn, and then another thing to have a platform where you can be able to practice these things. So here am I putting out the word. If you want to move into data, if you want to move into tech space, Tenalytics is your sure plug. I believe they still have some promo going on right now. Go to their website, reach out, sign up, get your journey in tech started. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's Victor. Victor is an amazing guy. He got his job, like he said, started in October, and he was able to get a job by December. Okay, and so many other professionals. You'd have the slides. You can go through the slides and see the amazing transition story of so many of the people that have been a part of Tenalytics. All right, but now I'll just move to the most important parts of our session today, which is what does it take to be a part of the program? And that takes us to the IWD scholarship that we have ongoing for the month of March. The next cohort starts on the 6th of April, 2024. All right. That's in about 2 weeks from today or thereabouts. And you have the opportunity to be a part of this cohort by taking advantage of the IWD scholarship. Now, what's the IWD scholarship? We implemented this initiative last year, 2023, where we try to encourage more women to get into tech. But the question is, why are we encouraging more women to get into tech? Now, it would interest you to know that only 25% of tech roles are occupied by women. Only 25. And that's appalling. And in the last 2 years, the numbers have even declined a lot further. in terms of the number of women getting into tech. Now, the theme for 2024 International Women's Month is to inspire inclusion. So what we did last year was to help 320 women. We set out to do just 300 women, but we were oversubscribed, and we helped 320 women last year to take advantage of the scholarship and get into any of our programs in 2023. And this year we are doing another 300 women to get into tech. Now, the interesting part is we're not just making this available to just the women, we are also encouraging the men to be a part of it. Because if women currently occupies 25% of the tech roles, it means that the majority of the roles, especially the senior roles, the leadership roles, are occupied by men. So we need men who would serve as advocates for the inclusion of women in tech. We need men who would serve as key drivers, as allies, and as mentors to get as many more women into the tech ecosystem. So while we provide the 50% scholarship to 300 women, we are also making this available to just 50 men. All right. Now, guess what? We launched this, I think, about last week. We launched this initiative. More men have indicated interest in being a part of this, and have also registered to take advantage of the scholarship, even though the scholarship is designed largely for the women. So the women on the call, there's somebody here who is even a man, the male gender. You have a sister, you have a wife, you have a cousin who is female, you have a colleague who is female. Share the message with them. Okay, we are missing out on a whole lot of talents untapped from the women gender if we don't get them into the tech ecosystem. All right. So what's the scholarship all about? The first 300 women to register and the first 50 men to register would only get to pay 50% of the HR analytics program. And what's the 50% scholarship? Now, instead of paying $750 to be a part of the program, you only get to pay $375. If you're paying in pounds, instead of paying $625, you get to pay just £313. And if you're paying in Canadian dollars, instead of paying $1,050, you get to pay just $525 Canadian dollars. And if you're paying in Naira, instead of paying 900, you get to pay 450,000, 50% right off the bat for anybody interested in being a part of the program. The scholarship works for all the programs we have to offer. You can take advantage of the scholarship. But remember, it is not open. Like I mentioned last year, we had to give it to 320, even though we planned for just 300. And the reason was because a lot of people like last minute rush, to get to register. So we have a cutoff. We have a cutoff for the scholarship for this year. Once we get to 300 women, and once we get to 50 men, which most likely this Saturday, we're going to get to 50 men, okay? Because the men have registered far more than the women. So you want to take advantage of the scholarship to be a part of it. You want to join any of our programs, you want to join the HR analytics, go ahead and register to make payments, and you get into the program. All right. How do you make payments? All you need to do is click on this link that you have on the screen. Click on that. It takes you into the enrollment center. All right. If you're in Nigeria, you get to see the fees in Naira. If you're in the UK, you get to see the fees in pounds. You can go ahead and make payment to be a part of the program. And all you need to do, once you click on the enrollment link, it brings you here. You want to register for HR Analytics, you click on that. It takes you to the page where you get to make payments, and you enter the amount to be a part of the program. Okay, there is a minimum amount based on the program you've selected. However, the program starts on the 6th of April. and the minimum amount here in pounds, for example, is £200. But I want to secure my discount. I want to secure the scholarship. So I'm a part of the 300 women and I'm a part of the 50 men. Rather than paying the minimum, if what you have is 150, for example, okay, all you need to do, instead of using any of these links to pay, you just come to the balance payments, click on the main stack balance link, and it gives you access to make, further payments, in lower tranches. So I have £100 I want to pay, or 150. I enter 150 and I click on reserve a seat. Okay, enter my name, enter my email, enter my phone number, and then I click on pay with card. Right, I enter my card detail and I click on confirm payment and I get to make my payment. The moment you make payments, you would receive an automated receipt into the email you have provided. All right, and from that automated email, you'd also have a link to enter more details for us to onboard you into the program. So that's how you get to make payments. However, if you have the minimum amount, you can go ahead here. You can even pay the full amount, £313, proceed to pay, enter your name, and so on and so forth, and you get to make payments. Okay, if you're in Nigeria, you get to see the Naira equivalent. If you're in Ghana, you get to see the currency where you can make payments and so on and so forth. Okay, and that's how you pay to join any of the programs that we offer. You can do a direct payment to our pound account by using, if you want to do a direct transfer, for example, you're in the UK, you want to do a direct transfer, you can do that using these account details. Just ensure that once you've done the transfer, take a screenshot as proof of payment. And once you've taken the screenshot as proof of payment, you come back to this page and click on upload receipts. Once you click on upload receipts, you enter all your details, and you fill this form to be a part of the program. All right, and that's how you get to make payment to be a part of the IWD scholarship. The rate is the same for HR analytics. I can see Emmanuel sent, let me check. I think I saw a message from you, which was quite lengthy. Because of job and family, couldn't continue, reached out to Didion. Luckily, my visa can, are you in Canada now, Emmanuel? Where in Canada? Which province are you in? Just let me know. You can take advantage of the scholarship as well, Emmanuel, Ontario, okay? I'm in Alberta, so we're in different provinces. I moved from the UK. Well, not really moved. I'm just in Canada for now, for this year, all right? So I'll take questions at this juncture. So if you have questions, please feel free. Let's take your questions and I'll be very happy to answer your question. Does the program come with a certificate? Absolutely. Once you are done with your classes, you work on your capstone project, you get a certificate before you join the internship. All right. I mentioned I was going to show you what the internship looks like. Okay. So let's go to the internship currently ongoing. So the internship, the amazing stuff is you don't work alone as a HR analyst. You collaborate with other, participants. So this is for the HR and data science. So you work on these projects together, all right? So let's see the project they're working on. They're working on two amazing projects at the moment, okay? So you have your onboarding materials and then you have the project. So let's look at the projects, okay? Project 1 and Project 2. So I'm just going to play, it's a very short video, but let's listen. You'll see the amazing project people are working on in this internship.
Welcome to our Employee Turnover Analysis Project. As an intern joining our team, you will play a vital role in contributing to our efforts to understand and mitigate employee turnover within our organization. This onboarding material will provide you with an overview of the project, its objectives, and your role in supporting its success. Employee turnover poses significant challenges for organizations, including increased recruitment costs, loss of productivity, and potential negative impacts on company culture. Our organization is committed to understanding and mitigating employee turnover to ensure a stable and engaged workforce. The Employee Turnover Analysis Project aims to leverage data analytics techniques to identify underlying factors contributing to employee turnover within our organization. Employee turnover rates are higher than desired within our organization, leading to disruptions in operations and potential talent.
Okay, so I'm not going to bore you too much with the video, but that's one of the projects, is an employee turnover analysis project that they're currently working on in the internship. The data scientists, together with the HR analysts, are tackling the problem to address employee turnover. And there is another project. Let's quickly look at it.
Let's have an overview of another interesting project, its objectives, and your pivotal role in contributing to its success. Welcome to the Talent Management and Succession Planning Project. In today's competitive business environment, talent management and succession planning are critical for organizational sustainability and growth. Our company recognizes the importance of identifying, nurturing, and retaining top talent to ensure the continuity of key roles and leadership positions. The talent management and succession continuity and sustainability of actionable insights. Your contributions will help inform strategic decisions related to talent acquisition, retention, and development. Gain practical experience in HR analytics, talent management, and success.
Okay, so that's another project you're going to work on during the internship. So this is the internship currently ongoing. You can see that data science and HR March internship. So they just started this internship in March, and they're working on these amazing projects. So that's one of the things you get to do to equip yourself with the skills, because guess what? Recruiters want you to speak from the perspective of you haven't done this before. They want to know that you've done it before. You've worked on projects like this. You're not doing it for the first time. And that's the advantage you have working on these type of amazing projects. And to look at the class. So let's look at the class that started in, let's see, February, because I think February they've covered quite a number of stuff. So we look at the February class. You get to work, and when I say our programs are project-based, you get to work on projects, all right? Amazing projects. So you have your employability resources. Here you have the link to book an interview session. This is your classroom, and this is where you get the materials, your data sets, your slides, the class recordings. In case you miss a class, all you need to do is come here and you have access to the class recording, okay? So link for you to book interview session. All you need to do, you don't need to speak to anybody. Come in here, click on this link, and it takes you to a Calendly, and you can select your interview dates. So let's take, for example, I'm free on Saturday. I'll just click on Saturday. The time available on Saturday is 10:30. There's another time available on Monday. On Monday, you have 2 a.m., 2:30. Well, so the reason why I have these very odd times is because of my, time zone, the region. Okay, so if I have a time zone that does not fit, because I'm in Canada, the time zone is West African timing, then I might want to speak to somebody. But let's assume 7:30 is okay for me. I click on next. I enter my name, enter my email. What is the name of the role you're applying for? You enter that, paste the job description, and you also share anything that would help to prepare for the interview. All right. So you click on schedule and you schedule the event, and somebody would meet with you at that particular time to walk you through your interview preparation. You have a CV template for the HR analyst, roles you can apply to, and you also have a guide on how to structure your LinkedIn profile, okay? On LinkedIn, you have that provided for you. You have links to job websites, where to apply to jobs. You have links to that and so many other amazing stuff, okay? But let's go to one of the classes, all right? Let's go to one of the classes. Let's go to a Power BI class, okay? Let's go to the data set. Let's go to the class material and let's see what this particular project is all about very quickly. So this is a case study. And when we say the program is project-based, you get to work on real-life case studies. So this is a case study for Zentura e-commerce company, all right? Your facilitator is Mary, and she's going to work with you. You have a problem statement, what the organization is currently facing at that time, the step you need to take, all right? And your analysis, what you need to come up with, your tailored analysis, your outcome, and you know exactly what to do, all right? And you get to work on this project. And once you are done working on the project, guess what? You have this in your portfolio. And you can brag about it. You can talk about what you've done before in the past. And when recruiters are interviewing you, your experience would shine through because you're not doing it for the first time. You've done it before. So you get to work on amazing projects, amazing projects. You also get to learn how to use the Power BI service, which is you learning collaboration in Power BI, you learning how to automate and update your reports automatically using Power BI, okay? And this is a case study you're also going to work on the Power BI service and build an amazing dashboard as well. So there are so many ways, and one thing that makes this simply amazing is if you ever miss any class, all you need to do, so let's assume you missed the class where that amazing dashboard was built, your Power BI live class 2. Let's assume you missed this class. The recording is here. All you need to do, come to your classroom, go to the class recording, watch the recording. All right? Now, let's assume you watch the recording and you still have issues, you have challenges. What do? There is something we call the drop-in sessions. And these drop-in sessions happen every single week. Every week. And this is where, rather than you trying to figure things out yourself, you have somebody during the week that will join you on a live session to look at the problems you have and help you address those problems. And that's what the drop-in session is all about. All right. So I'm just going to take a breather right here because I mentioned I was going to show you the structure, the projects you're going to work on during your internship to help you get all the skills that you need. So I'm going to first of all go through the chat. I'll take questions from the chat. And if you have any question, you want to unmute yourself to speak, please feel free to unmute yourself. And I would love to hear from you. Okay, so yes, I talked about that already. The program comes with a certification. You get a certificate once you're done with the program. Will replay of the live classes be sent? I think I answered that question already. You have all your live classes are in the classroom. In fact, you can download your live classes if you want. The recorded classes, you can download them and they are available to you. Do we have a coordinator from Ghana? Well, we have a Ghanaian working, she's half Ghanaian, half Nigerian. Her name is Lydia. We also have, Lydia and we have Kate. Okay, Lydia Pinto and Kate as well. Half Ghanaian, half Nigerian. All right. I'm sure that would interest you. I'm sure Richard is from Ghana. Is there data analytics cohort for March? Absolutely. We've started that already. You can't join the one for March because they've done quite a lot. Started on the 2nd of March, if I'm correct. So you can join the one starting in April, Emmanuel. On the 6th of April, we have a new cohort starting, and that's the cohort for the scholarship that we talked about. 50% scholarship. You can take advantage of that and join. Okay, Emmanuel wants to join and continue this March. So because you've started in the past, Emmanuel, I think that can work for you. You're not entirely new. You've done, some of the areas. So let me just confirm when the class started again. I think that was on the 2nd of March, 2nd or Saturday, yes. So it was on the 2nd of March. So they've currently done about 1, 2. So tomorrow would be the 3rd live class that they'll be having. So Emmanuel, if you can pay early enough, you can still join the class for tomorrow. All right? You can still join the class for tomorrow. Okay? I hope that answered your question. Are they currently in Ghana? No. All your classes are virtual, Richard, not physical. They are virtual classes. You join your classes online via your classroom using Teams. So you don't have to be in a physical location. Okay. So once again, I'm not sure I've seen any more. When is the deadline? So there is no deadline for payment for Lucia. The way you get the scholarship is the moment we get the first 50 men, we close that scholarship. So you can see, let me just highlight this for you very quickly, for Lucia. So the scholarship is only available to the first 50 men and the first 300 women. All right. This is the original amount. This is the original amount. So if you're not a part of the first 50 men or first 300, women, you'd have to pay this full amount. All right. If you're part of the first 50 men, first 300 women, you get to pay 50% in commemoration of the International Women's Month. Okay, encouraging more women to get into the tech ecosystem. So if I pay now, how do I know I can join the March cohorts? So what you need to do, Emmanuel, I'm going to send you my email. All right, just send an email to me directly. Okay, send an email to me directly, and I'll personally address that for you. Oops. I tried to send that to you directly. Okay, that's fine. That's my email at desertanalytics.io. So as soon as you make payment, send me the evidence, proof of payment, send that to my email, and I would help address that for you. Now, what if I'm unable to start now? You can't, start in July, Abiola. You can defer only by 1 month. Okay, and what does that mean? Now, I want to take advantage of the discount, but I have other commitments and I can't start in April. You can start in May. Defer by 1 month, but you can't defer till July. Okay, Abiola, you can only defer by 1 month. Okay. And how do you defer? So you saw that form. Depending on the way you pay, if you pay using your card, you get an automated email after making payments into your automated receipt into your email. It comes with a link for you to register your details. So you select the program, you select when you want to start. So you'd see the question that would ask, when do you want to start? And that's where you select April, 6th of April, or you select May if you want to defer to May, but you can't defer beyond May. No, I think, okay, I'm not sure who is responding to Emmanuel. Maybe you didn't hear what I said or the directives I gave to Emmanuel. I had mentioned to Emmanuel is not new to this, okay? He's not new to this. He sent me a direct message explaining his current situation. All right, so Emmanuel can still join the March cohorts because of his peculiar situation. He started before last year. All right, so he can still join the March cohorts and join the live class for tomorrow if you make payments early enough. But if you don't make payments early enough, then you might have to wait till the following weekend. But I'd advise for you not to miss 3 classes consecutively if you can, afford to be in class tomorrow, Emmanuel. All right. Okay. I'm not sure we have any more questions in the chat. Like I said, guys, the discounts, and this is our only little way of, helping bring more women into the tech ecosystem, 300 women. Last year, a couple of the women that took advantage of the scholarship have gone ahead to do amazing stuff, getting jobs. One particular lady, we brought her last week, Saturday. Her name is Ikmat. Ikmat got a job as working with the NHS in the UK, full visa sponsorship, and she's currently doing amazingly well, working from home, working hybrid, has a very good balance between family and also work as well. And she took advantage of the scholarship last year. Last year we did 320 because we were oversubscribed and we couldn't just push. We had to push a lot of people away, but even with that, we still had 320. But this time around, we are sticking to 300 people, 300 women, and it would be very good for you to be a part of it. Emmanuel is asking, please, the class is for data analytics. Absolutely. Absolutely. I got your message, Emmanuel, for data analytics. All right. The data analytics, HR analytics, financial analytics, business analysis, they're all the same amounts, all the same amounts. Okay. I'll take one more question and then we call it a day because it's a day fast spent. So let me take a question from Benga, who has his hand up. Benga Falade, please go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Hadessa. Okay, so good evening from Nigeria. Okay, so
Good to have
you. Benga is my name. So please, my question is due to the fact that there are just limited slots. Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so I said due to the fact that there are just limited slots for this program, and in order to enjoy the scholarship based on the limited slot for the program, please, is it possible for someone to make this installment plan even before the end of the program? I don't know if you understand. Probably maybe at least maybe someone can pay like 2 or 3 installments and we can ensure that the payment was concluded before the end of the program. Is there going to be, or was there even provision for people who want to pay because of the time frame and still want to enjoy the slots? I mean, the offer, which is the scholarship. So thank you.
Right, you're welcome, Benga. Very good question. So how do you take advantage? The answer to your question directly is a yes and a no. Yes, in the sense that you can pay in installments. And what do I mean by that? Today, I have X amount, okay? I want to pay, the program is 450, but today I have 150. And I know that by the end of the month, I'm going to get salary, okay? So I can pay 150 today to secure my scholarship and secure the slots. And at the end of the month, I pay the 300. But I say no in the sense that the full amount, which means the scholarship amount, must be paid before the program starts. Okay, so you can pay in installments as long as you pay before the program commences. So you want to pay in Naira, for example, today you have 150, you pay that, you use this to secure the slots. So you know that come rain, come sunshine, you have your slots secured. All right, maybe in the next 1 week, you have another 150, you pay that in. And before the program starts on the 6th of April, so on the 4th, on the 3rd, I would prefer that I would recommend that you pay at least 2 days before, so that, because only after you've completed the payment, you receive your welcome kit. And the welcome kit contains your lesson plan, contains your links for you to download and install Excel, Power BI, SQL, and all those things. So you have a full day to do all of that. So you're not, rushing at the end of the day. All right. But the discounted fee, the scholarship fee, must be paid before the class starts. The only way we allow your payment plan to extend even into the program. So the program is for 4 months, right? You want to pay for the duration of that 4 months. You can only do that when you pay the full amount, okay? Not for the scholarship. The scholarship is you pay that before the program commences. I hope I answered your question, Benga. Hope I answered your question. Okay, Richard is a freshman. I can see that. Good to have you. Oh, wow, interesting. So that's the amazing stuff. Most of the people that come to Tenalytics, they come through referral, they come through word of mouth, they come through recommendations from different people. Okay, so we'll be very happy to have you on board. All right. I'm not sure we have more questions, and I think we should wrap up in the next 2 minutes. So one last charge to everybody that has been a part of today's session. You receive the recording, you receive the slides, you receive all my materials for today. Number one charge is for you to, try your hands out on Office scripts. Okay? Try it out yourself, see how it works, and you would, see how amazing it is. And you would have learned a new skill in the month of March, okay? The second charge is you have a colleague, you have a sister, you have a brother, you have a cousin, you have a friend, a contemporary that can also benefit from this. Share the message with them so they can take advantage, all right? And I would say the final charge is follow us across all our platforms. Go on LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and across all our social media channels so that you are the first person to know whenever we have any amazing offer or initiative on the table. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you. And I would love to see you join us on the 6th of April to start your journey into tech. Emmanuel? Okay. I totally understand you, Emmanuel. I'm making this concession because you are not new and you are returning essentially. All right. So good to have you, Emmanuel. So you can go ahead and do that. Send me an email, like I said, and I'll respond to your email. And thank you very much, guys, for being a part of our session today. Whenever any of you decide to get into tech, or you have somebody who also want to get into tech, Tenalytics, just like Victor said, is your short plug for anything tech. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and I hope to see you some other time. Cheers, guys.